Hey everyone, excited to be back for this week's edition of Frequently Asked Questions for Commercial Real Estate. In today's video, what I want to do is to make a case for the act of writing a book and how it's going to benefit you in your brokerage career. So in today's video, we're going to explain how I wrote several of my books, but we'll focus on my first book in commercial real estate, which is Before You Sign That Lease, The Small Business Owner's Guide to Leasing Commercial Space, and then explain the logic behind writing it and ultimately how it's helped me in my brokerage career to be able to secure more business from a variety of different ways. Now, before I end this video, I'd greatly appreciate it if you can like and subscribe to this channel. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm and ensures more and more people can hear this message and learn about the many facets of commercial real estate. So now you've done that, go ahead and like and subscribe below. Let's go ahead and dive into this episode. All right, so in today's video, I would like to make a case as to why I believe that really anyone should consider writing a book about a particular topic that's focused on their niche. So if we are talking about commercial real estate from a brokerage standpoint, consider writing something that is going to be specific to the property type that you yourself are going to be focused on. Now, for my first book, Before You Sign That Lease, it was more of a generic book pertaining to leasing commercial property that was from the perspective of the business owner. But I would wager to say that you can make it even more niched in what you're trying to do. So, for example, if you're a multifamily broker located in the middle of the country, maybe you talk about you write a book that's pertaining to the acquisition of those property types in your particular market. And these books that I'm talking about don't have to be novels. I mean, there are books out there that are 60 to 100 pages. It's not going to take you a significant amount of time if you do dedicate yourself to doing so, to be able to create something that's worthwhile. Now, the reason why I think it's such a worthwhile endeavor is because, number one, it helps crystallize your thoughts on the process. So as you're learning throughout your brokerage career, you've attained a lot of knowledge that the average person is not going to really have. And so you do have a lot of insights that you can then share with a broader audience so that you can actually provide them with insight. Number two, it helps establish you as an authority. So even amongst those individuals that maybe are more sophisticated and more established, having seen someone who does write a book does make a big difference in their desire to want to work with them, because again, you showcase yourself as being an expert in your field, which is ultimately what those types of individuals, those types of professionals want to work with, those other types of professional of that caliber. And then finally, number three is from a personal branding perspective. When it comes to local real estate, for commercial real estate here in Louisville, I've gotten to know many people in a variety of different industries as a result of my act of writing this book. I've spoken at many events. I've had the opportunity to, connect through via different boards and organizations. And a big part of, the pitch a lot of times is, hey, I'm an author and I'd like to talk about a particular subject. And oftentimes that conversation goes well as a result of me, having written books in the past. So those are the three reasons why I think it's beneficial. Now, as far as the writing process, again, starting off with something that is niche to what you're trying to do. So if you're a multifamily broker, consider writing a multifamily book on how to analyze multifamily opportunities. If you are more of a generalist and you're located in a particular market, maybe make it commercial real estate specific, but focus on the nuances of that particular market so that when individuals are looking to acquire or lease or sell property in that market, that it provides them with some insights that they can't get from more of a national broker that's going to have much more of a national presence. So first step is to pick your topic. Number two is to create a book outline. So when I started this book, I structured it with 12 chapters. So I said, okay, what is the process of executing a commercial lease? You start here, then here's the next step, here's the next step, here's the next step, here's the next step, here's the next step. And I was able to come up with 12 different steps. Those became the framework for the different chapters that I was going to write in the book. And then within those individual chapters, you create subtopics because, again, you may have a broad step of things you got to do, but then there's maybe 3 or 4 mini steps involved in that one process. That's where the subchapters come in to play. And so that's kind of the framework that I followed to be able to write the book. And then the next step is to just write. I'm a big believer in not necessarily automating the process, but making sure that you set aside time in your schedule every single day to write. When I'm in my book writing mode, I try to write at least 250 to 500 words a day. And usually that's early in the morning, right after I get done with the gym. I'll come home, have either a protein shake or something to kind of provide me with some sustenance. And then from there, I sit down and just write. And again, it doesn't have to be excellent writing. Again, when you first start writing in general, you're not going to be a very good writer. And so you have to give yourself grace and just worry about getting the word count versus actually the quality coming out. Because again, you can always edit later on. But as far as your writing session, focus on just writing, not editing. So that's the next step in the process. Once it's complete, that's where editing comes into play. You're going to go through the manuscript and you're going to butcher it. And you're going to try to get things crossed out, add new things in. And during this time period, you may have some inspiration about things that you missed that you want to then include in the book. That's a good opportunity to be able to do so. And these sessions should happen typically on the weekends. I take some time to edit and modify things if necessary. And then once you're done with 2 rounds of edits yourself, you can then involve either a professional editor or, maybe you have someone that you like and respect and you know will do a good job on the editing side. Maybe you can ask them to edit your manuscript as well. But again, you want to get a second pair of eyes on the manuscript because at this point in the process, you likely are swimming in the words and you may just be missing things that are wrong with the book because of just how long and often you've been actually looking at it. You definitely want to get a second pair of eyes on the book to provide you with some context. So that's the next step in the process. After that comes the process of creating the book cover. I utilize services on Fiverr.com to be able to create this book cover. I also secured the editor on Fiverr.com. And again, they do a phenomenal job for a very reasonable price. And again, it takes maybe about a week or 2, depending on the instruction that you provide these individuals to be able to provide you with the final product as far as the cover is concerned. Once that's complete, you take it to Amazon. I'm a self-published author. I'm not someone who went through a big publishing house or anything like that. In my opinion, it's a much more effective way to be able to distribute your book. So you can go to sites like Amazon KDP and start distributing it. You upload your raw file, you upload the cover, and then after a series of checks on Amazon's side, you can then distribute it on a variety of different platforms. And you'll be able to distribute or have people buy the actual physical paperback version, or you also may want to consider providing a Kindle version, which again, you can secure an editor on Fiverr to be able to provide you with a file that is formatted for Kindle itself. So once you've completed that process, you have the final book. What I would encourage you to do after that point is to secure maybe 100 to 200 copies of your book, and that's going to be your business card. So every single time that you meet with a potential client, you bring a copy of your book and you say, hey, look, I'd like to leave this book with you just in case you're not familiar with the process. And you don't want to ever assume they may be very sophisticated, but you can say something along the lines of, hello, just wanted to give you a copy of my book. I thought you may be able to gather some insights from the text. So again, these are the ways that I've been able to secure listings because people just are not used to seeing people who do take the time to write a book, and it does really make a difference in the way that they perceive you. In particular, if you're younger in your career and you're competing against very seasoned professionals, this is a great way to be able to stand out. And as a bonus, I would highly encourage you guys even to consider reading your own book and creating an Audible version that you then can send to your prospects via text. And even though they may never listen to the book, the fact that you have an Audible book that of you yourself reading does make a big impact in their consideration as they're deciding who to go with as their representation. So hopefully you gained some value from this video. I know it was a little bit long-winded, but I do really every time I speak with different brokers when they ask me about ways to be able to stand out in the marketplace, I think this is definitely one of the best ways to do that is to create a book that will provide value to your potential or your target audience. So I'd highly encourage you guys to consider it. If you yourself are looking for commercial property here in Louisville, Kentucky, I'm a commercial broker in town. I'd be happy to help you with your search. Feel free to give me a call at 502-536-7315, or you can reach me via email at Raphael@grisantigroup.com. Along with that, if you guys are looking for a book on commercial real estate, check out my books. I've actually written 3 books on commercial real estate before you sign that lease, before you buy that building, and before you sell that building, which will be comprehensive guides for business owners looking to buy or sell commercial property. So thanks again so much for tuning in, and we'll see you all next time.